So I spent a little over 7 years in the Marine Corps. I enlisted 3 days after high school graduation.
I joined the Marine Corps in 1999, just after I turned 19 years old. I started off in field artillery, did a few years there. I transitioned into explosive ordnance disposal, and I did that for about 14 years.
Pikeville, Tennessee. I joined the Army straight out of high school. I was a horizontal construction engineer stationed in Fort Carson, Colorado. Did a tour in Afghanistan.
So I'm originally from the Washington, D.C. area. I grew up bouncing back and forth between Maryland and D.C. I joined the Army right after September 11th. I was a senior in high school. And needless to say, I was one of those people who signed up shortly after September 11th because I felt it was the right thing to do.
I ended up as an ammunition technician, which is a 2311, and then I went to college, I got married, and moved on with my life. But as most vets can say, it stays with you, especially the people. You miss the people, miss working with people, just the camaraderie. And so it was something I was always looking for. And once I found a position with the Forest Service, that's something that I feel like I've gotten back.
I grew up in Copper Hill, Tennessee, which is not far from where I'm at right now. And yes, by the nature of where I grew up, a lot of time outside. So I spent a lot of time running around the forest as a kid with my buddies playing in creeks. At the time, it was quite normal to shoot 22s and 410s out in the woods.
When I left the Army, I wanted to be as far away from the military as I possibly could. And I got there. I like, for lack of a better word, I ran and I ran and I ran. And I got to a place where I was comfortable. I liked my job and my lifestyle, at least initially. I did pretty well for myself, but it was not fulfilling. I missed having a mission and a purpose that was more than just to make a business profitable. And that, over the years, that really started to grate on me.
Well, I can remember a time in Afghanistan where I was running a dozer, and we had been there for 3 or 4 months, and it's a desert terrain, and I just had thought about how much I miss trees. But going back home, I mean, Tennessee has one of the most diverse selections of trees in the United States, and I knew for sure that when I got out of the Army that I would be coming back to this area, the Southeast. I knew that for a fact. I didn't know that I would be sitting in this chair, but I'm happy that I am.
The way I see it, veterans are a unique asset that have a lot of good established connections with the Forest Service mission. A lot of the basic training and job skills and I guess general qualifications that come with being a veteran also apply to being a Forest Service employee. The mental toughness, the flexibility, and that ability to adjust on the fly and respond to changing conditions really benefits any military service member, but at the same time, they're going to bring those same skill sets to the table when you're talking about the Forest Service mission.
One thing that was reassuring about meeting veterans here was that most do get a little lost after they leave service, and there's this void that they're trying to fill, and a lot of them will recreate the life that they lived in the Army or the Marines or the Navy or the Air Force. That was very reassuring that I wasn't the only person that struggled when I got out.
So for me, the transition out into civilian sector wasn't incredibly easy, and there wasn't a lot of opportunities for me to do that kind of work. It's hard to say exactly why I wanted to come here. Even when I was in the Marine Corps, I did that for 20 years, and it took me a long time when somebody asked me, why did you join the Marine Corps, before I came up with a good answer. I hate to use cliches, but my heart or my gut kind of just said, hey, I want to go work for the Forest Service.
Personally, as a veteran, natural resources in general are a great source of peace and strength for me in terms of mental health and physical health, to be honest. I was fishing one day. I came to the realization that, first off, somebody has to do an awful lot of work just to keep this area and this resource the way it is, that I can enjoy it. Well, if I'm gaining so much from this, how can I help other people to do so? And how can I actually give back to that which I derive this strength from? So I decided that big picture, that was what I wanted to do. And the Forest Service just sort of scratched that particular itch. It seemed like, I thought, well, gee, that's where I want to go. That's what I want to do. And the folks from the agency that I had been exposed to really reinforced that.